If you have a Capital One credit card or a Discover credit card, you need to watch this video. In case this is your first time hearing about this, there is a massive merger that was announced last year between Capital One to buy Discover Bank. Now, there are a lot of people that are excited about this, and there are a lot of people that are saying, no, I don't want my Discover credit card to go over to Capital One. I'm here to tell you it's most likely going to happen now because the shareholders voted on it with Capital One and with Discover, and it was unanimously voted that they want to approve the merger. This is going to be a massive merger at a whopping $35 billion. But before we get into all the sauce about this massive merger, make sure that you smash that like and subscribe button so this video gets out to more people so everyone can stay informed that has a Capital One or Discover credit card. So let's go ahead and pull up this article right here. We're going to scroll down to the bottom where it says investors representing 85.1% of Capital One's outstanding shares voted in favor of the deal, while stockholders representing 81.6% of outstanding Discover shares gave their approval, the company said in a statement Tuesday. But it's not 100% yet. Let's just be honest with each other here, because it was approved by the Delaware State Bank's commissioner. They signed off on it in December. Now let's scroll down a little bit to where it says the companies are still awaiting approval from the Federal Reserve and the Office of Comptroller of the Currency. But here's the big but. Even if those regulators allow the transaction, the U.S. Justice Department could sue to block it. But though President Donald Trump's return to office has eased some lingering doubts about the deal going through. So a lot of people are counting on this deal to go through, and they're hoping that Donald Trump's administration is like, you know what, just let it happen, because this could cause and look like a big monopoly in the credit card game. Because this merger right here can cause Capital One to become the largest credit card holder in America, toppling JP Morgan for the first time in American history. But the big question here is, what does this truly mean for Capital One and Discover Bank credit card holders or account holders? Now listen, I'm not super excited about this merger because if you don't know, Capital One got caught shaving points off of their high yield savings accounts for anybody that had a high yield savings account. They were sued by the CFPB. It's a massive, massive lawsuit. So it kind of begs the differ, well, is this a good move for Discover Bank? I think they don't have any choice because we are seeing the largest amount in defaults in credit card history right now. And I think this merger is happening just because of that. Well, here's the big question. Will this actually save current credit card holders money? Will they lower the interest rate, lower fees? Highly unlikely, in all honesty. Because remember, credit card companies are only incentivized to offer you an introductory interest rate, usually 0% for 12 months, 18 months. There's some credit cards that will go all the way up to 24 months, but not very many. Because remember, the banks make money off of interest rates and fees. But what we can hope for is a competitive market. Now, JP Morgan, American Express, Citibank are all going to have to fight against Capital One. So what can that mean for you as a current credit card holder? Not very much, I'll be honest with you. But if you're in the Discover credit card family, now you're in the Capital One family. If you were in the Capital One family, now you're in the Discover family. Last part's the most important. Anytime that you're already in the credit card family, you're really already banking with that bank. So you're gonna have a higher chance of approval for any of their other credit products as long as you don't have any missed payments, a crappy credit score, or you're carrying a massive balance. But I'll be honest with you, I've seen people get approved for other credit cards that had massive balances, but they didn't give them a huge credit limit on that new credit card. Another big question is going to be, okay, so what happens if I have a Discover credit card or if I already have a Capital One credit card? Will it change? Most likely, yes. There's probably going to be some type of new rollout of a new logo. We don't know what it looks like. We have no earthly clue. Next question, will it affect your current account with Capital One? So if you already have a credit card or a checking account or anything like that from Discover and it's going to actually Capital One, then maybe potentially it may change your account number. Now, it's not common that they actually close your account and they open a new one, but it could happen. So I want to fair warn you here. What could happen is they close your old account and then they give you a new account once the merger happens. So you'll get a new credit card and a new actual credit card account number. And the bad side about that is you're going to lose all that credit history Nobody ever talks about that. That's the negative side. So it could tank your credit score if they do actually issue new account numbers and they close the old accounts. But we're going to be optimistic. We're going to say, okay, listen, hopefully it doesn't happen, but it's very common when these mergers happen. Because remember, all of these Capital One credit cards still have a Visa or MasterCard logo on them. They are not going to be using the same payment system anymore because Discover has its own closed loop system. They don't use Visa. They don't use MasterCard. They don't need them. So in all reality, Capital One is going to save billions of dollars in credit card fees because now they own Discover, the entire closed loop system. So with them saving all these billions of dollars, you would think that they would pass those savings on to consumers, but that's not really common in the business world. So if you're someone that travels with your Capital One credit card and you go out of the country, you may have the issue where it's not going to be accepted everywhere in other countries now because remember, now you're going to be on the Discover payment system. And a lot of smaller businesses, a lot of other countries don't accept it because of the high fees, kind of like with American Express. Now, some Capital One credit cards and some Discover credit cards don't charge for international transactions, but that doesn't mean that everyone's going to accept it, unfortunately. Now, the last and final biggest question is, okay, if Visa and MasterCard are gone, does that mean I lose my protections on my credit card? No, don't freak out. Discover is pretty great about their protections and so is Capital One, but you're still protected no matter what kind of credit card it is or what kind of payment system. You are protected by the Fair Credit Billing Act. So if you have something that you need to dispute, don't call them and dispute it over the phone. Send them a letter snail mail because that will trigger the protections immediately. They tell you, yeah, call us and let us know. We'll take care of it for you because they don't want to trigger the Fair Credit Billing Act because if something goes awry, they are liable and they're going to have to pay you out. But tell me how you feel about this merger in the comments. If you're a Capital One credit card holder, are you excited? If you're a Discover credit card holder, are you excited? I hope you enjoyed this video. We covered another big one with this Capital One and Discover merger that is going to happen and how it's going to affect every credit card holder out there. Now, make sure that you watch this next video because it is about an AI credit repair software that you may want to learn more about. And if you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.